Get that World Cup feeling with DStv Football Buzz. Subscribe to DStv Africa on YouTube.
Welcome to another episode of DStv Football Buzz, where we talk about everything FIFA World Cup 2022. Less than a week to go. Things are really hotting up. Today with us, we've got Larry from Zimbabwe, Dipsy from Botswana, and Bewazini from Zambia. Guys, topic for today, informed players ahead of the World Cup. Larry, take us away. Who's the man to watch out for?
Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting. Very surprised. I know a lot of people have been surprised by that one. Thigh injury to Leroy Sané, I beg your pardon, needed to be the focal point of Bayern's attack. Nagelsmann brings him on. Response, 5 goals in 4 games, right? 10 goals in 14 games this season. 3 assists overall. A career best streak of 6 consecutive matches in which he scores goals. Champions League man of the match against Inter Milan. 2 braces. Come on. And secondly, I'm going to sneak one in there. Frankie de Jong. He's restored the balance into Barcelona. He is the new Xavi. And if you look at the pass for the match against Osasuna, right from the deep for Rafinha's goal, you've got to say, yeah, those are the 2 people that I'm going with at the moment.
Dipsy, who do you think?
Yeah, I love the energy and the excitement. You see, the World Cup is very complex for someone like me when I look at it. I will still go with the experience of Leo Messi. You know, I think he's turned a leaf in terms of his new season at PSG. So he's somebody to look at, looking at the fact that it's probably his last World Cup and he wants to leave with a bang and win the World Cup. It's the only thing left for him to prove that he's the greatest of all time. So I put my money on him. But you have other guys that are coming up, like even Kylian Mbappe. They have a good combination. And then we have the Brazilian team where most of their forwards are doing well. Imagine who just got left out of the World Cup. And he seems to be doing really well. Liverpool might be struggling, but Firmino has been playing really, really well. Scored goals, he's assisted, his stats look good. That's why I say the World Cup is very complex, because you can come with all these stats and not make the first team and not even make the team for the World Cup. Or you can come in with so much stats and then guys with very fewer stats than you come in and blow up and use this platform. So I've got a lot of players that I'm looking at and I have my fingers crossed that they do well.
Bewazini, your thoughts?
Well, I definitely agree with him on one player, that is Kylian Mbappe. I think for France, I agree with you, but I still have issues with you on Lionel Messi. But of course, he has shown to say he's actually a different player now. You can actually see the role that he plays for club. It has changed. But for France to defend the World Cup, I think they need Mbappe to come on board. He's been extraordinary for the club, no doubt about that. And I think he's one of those informed players that I'm watching the World Cup for. Again, one player, a lot of people won't actually talk about him. He's Pedri, 19-year-old, in the midfield of Barcelona. I think he's been excellent. Okay, so it's Barcelona and France. Now, if you look at, you can talk about Barcelona struggling, but if you look at the middle of the pack, what this 19-year-old boy is doing, getting into the World Cup, that's the reason as why he's definitely one of those key players for Spain. And it comes from what he's doing into that middle of the pack. Of course, Barcelona trying to change a lot of things, but when it comes to Spain, you have no doubt you have to put him as one of those players. So I'm looking out for those 2 players, Kylian Mbappe and of course Pedri from Barcelona and Spain.
Right. The question then is, these informed players, can they take the teams by the scruff of their neck and pull them into the deep stages of the World Cup? Larry?
Well, I mean, the guys I've mentioned are going to do great for their teams. Because if you look at Choupo-Moting, he came in before the previous coach was playing him out wide. And because he was a bit of a utility player, he was getting a bit upset in the role that was given. But Rigobert Song comes in, puts him in the focal in front and not playing as a 10 and further up the field. He scores and he puts his country in a good place to qualify for the next Africa Cup of Nations. He's a key player for them. I think Frenkie de Jong is going to be a key player. He is a guy who is able to be the engine room for his team, and I think he's going to be able to bring success for his team. Speaking of the Brazilians he's talking about, they talked about, the guy who was at the top of my mind, not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but because of the way he's pulled himself into that team. Not in the reckoning a couple of months ago, Gabi Martinelli. And he's going to be that guy, the ace in the pack, when the match isn't quite going as you like. When the match is really tight, he's a guy you can call in, get into the pockets of spaces, and be able to sometimes take Brazil over the line.
Talking about key players, Dipsy, you mentioned Mbappe from France. What about a guy, an obvious choice like Karim Benzema?
Obviously, he's the man now. He just won the Ballon d'Or, and it's his stage to shine and take the team and be the difference. Like I said, man, we're coming into this World Cup with egos, with stats, with all of that. At the end of the day, you don't play alone. You have to be able to raise the level of your teammates. You have great players like Lewandowski and Son. They're good players wherever they play. But can they be the one guy who decides the match, the one guy who saves the team, the one guy who creates the goals that are needed or creates the movement? So it's going to be very, very interesting. I don't think this World Cup will be the easiest one to predict. There will be a lot of dark horses coming out, a lot of new faces stamping their name in world football stage. They're like, I have arrived and have a look at me. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen to these guys.
Talking of one man who has shown that he can do it in the past for his country and his team, Sadio Mane, had a slight injury scare this week. But is he going to shine?
Well, first of all, you look at the description of what Dipsy said about some of the players he mentioned. Is it one man, one man, one man? It brings him the description of Sadio Mane. Okay, he's the one player who can actually move his nation. Okay, and the challenge is everyone knows. He also knows that he's under pressure to perform. So he is definitely one of those stars, the lights of Africa that is going to shine. And I think if you look at his attributes to the game, you look at his commitment to his country, you also look at how he struggled to get into this Bayern Munich team, and finally, the fans of Bayern who were doubting him can actually see that light now. So yes, if there's one player from the African continent who can actually showcase his talent and just show that light, for me, it is Sadio Mane.
Fantastic, guys. This has been a great episode of DStv Football Buzz. Before we go, I want to get your opinions on which country is going to win the World Cup. Larry?
Argentina. That's it. That's what I'm going with. Why? Because I think that this is a team that for the first time,
according to Dipsy.
No, not because of Messi. They're actually a very solid side. They don't have many superstars. Maybe the loss of Gio Lo Celso a couple of days ago might affect them, but I do think that they're going to make and the FIFA simulator, which has gotten the last 3 World Cups correct, says I'm correct.
Dipsy?
No, I'll agree. I'll agree on Argentina. I mean, okay. watching all the friendlies and European games that have been played, I think Argentina has it going their way. The Maradona statue, Leo Messi's last World Cup. I think things are finally aligning for Argentina and Messi. So I'll bet on him to rise to the occasion, finally rise to the occasion and actually win the World Cup.
Bewazini, your thoughts on which country?
Well. Dipsy, we've been agreeing a lot this episode, but not on the team that wins the World Cup. We were doing well. But for me, I think I saw the lineup the team for Brazil. Most of the players are on form with their countries. You look at Vinicius, it's Neymar. And I think for me, without a doubt, I'm going for Brazil this time around.
Not France. Last episode, you said France.
He's shifted his opinion.
He hadn't seen the lineup.
Well, I'll definitely be going for Brazil.
No problem. Yeah, I think it will be a nice World Cup final then.
Fantastic, guys. Thanks for another great episode of DStv Football Buzz. Less than a week to go before the World Cup. Super sport here for every fan. And to follow the conversation, DStv Football Buzz. Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yes.
This is Doha. This is Qatar. This is the World Cup 2022.
It is time, once more, for the world to stand still.
Stand still? Nah.
We come together tonight, 1 billion of us, in every corner of the globe where the beautiful game matters.
Here for the show-stopping magic of a moment.
And the explosion of
Hope and glory.
brothers, sisters,
Forgotten people, my party them.
We come here for heroes.
and for heartaches.
Heartache? Come now, Peter, we're not here for that. Not this time, mate.
Get and stay connected to DStv and watch all 64 matches. Here for every fan.
Your room is so messy.
Live on